So I was gonna tell you that whole story there. So I'm kind of screwed over right now. I got the material. But okay, so you kind of saw what that process was like. People told me that I can't do it. And I was just out on a vengeance to prove them wrong. One of the things that, I mean, since you already know how the cups came along, I will tell you guys how the cups got here. Initially, after packaging it, I went to different art galleries. I remember these were always at the back of my car for about 6 months, and I was just driving across the country. You know, like, would you guys keep this in your, would you guys show this in your gallery? And everyone said that they are nice, but they are on disposable cups. One of the things that I think a lot of people fail to look at is that things are only disposable if you want them to be. You know, just because it's labeled disposable doesn't mean right after you drink it, you throw it away. Your mom is a champ at this. She would take the shampoo bottle, she would cut it, and it would be like something. It would be like a container for something else, for your pencils or anything. Like, so parents actually understand that concept better than us nowadays. You know, remember how your grandma used to recycle things and all that? You knew that it was a one-time use, but what people fail to look past this is that they cannot get past disposable, you know, and that's the one thing that I want to help try to change in our country. You know, a lot of times, I think when you guys graduate, you would think that, oh, I took this course and this is what I should be good at. But you'll figure out later on in life that, sure, you might have taken that course and it is something that you like at the time, but you might actually excel in different areas of the course. You know, it could be a minor subject that you took for one class, you know, that you excelled in. If that's the case, go for it, because a title doesn't, like me as an artist, doesn't mean I have to draw for the rest of my life. You know, I started writing. I'm designing a bike next. So it really is how far you want to push yourself. And like I said, I'm an introvert. I'm one of those guys that I have to write in my blog and say and tell the world that I am going to do something, and then everyone looks forward to it like this lakeside meeting. I really did not want to be here today. I mean, it's terrible for me to tell you guys this because I like you guys and I want to be here. But when Dr. Ratna asked me, like, is there anything I can get you today? I said, well, you could get me out of here, because that's how much I don't want to be here, because it's frightening to stand in front of the stage and do this. You know, like I don't know if any one of you want to do this, you know, but it's not easy. But because I constantly put myself out there, you know, it challenges me to find out what I'm good and not good at. You know, and if I know that I'm not good at something, practice. You know, this literally is the second day I'm speaking in front of a crowd. You know, Joanna knew that. Like the first day, they gave me a mic, and I held the mic like this, and I said that I cannot do this. You know, but it's this is all practiceful. Like I don't expect myself to be good at everything really, but it's in trying that you really will start to understand yourself. You know? So to close the cup story, I would say that if you find that your daily routine is starting to become a pattern and you're somewhat bored, chances are you are already in a very comfortable point in life. You know, if that's the case, the next couple of years from now on, it's going to be the same if you don't do anything about it. Challenge yourself and try to do something different. You know? My next project is going to be a bicycle. I got a call about 2 days back, and then they told me that the handlebar that I brilliantly designed broke, and it's not going to do well. And I already poured about $4,000 or $5,000 US into just designing the handlebar. But that doesn't mean that it's going to fail long term. You know, it's just the start. people told me that the cups are not going to sell, and I think that it's because they assumed that it wouldn't. I think if you try anything, if you put enough heart in it, chances are someone will take notice. You've seen the guys write your name on a Starbucks cup, all the time. So this is not like a brilliant idea. People tell me like, oh my God, your cups, it's brilliant, and I'm like, if you tell that to someone who worked at Starbucks, they'll be like, it's not brilliant. I did it before. I just didn't take it that far. It's been done before. It's just how far you want to push an idea. So, like I said, the talks are not cohesive, but that would be the end of my spiel for the cup art. Okay. So now the book that I'm trying to sell. By the way, we have 200 copies of this excellent book. Okay, this is actually a more interesting story. I promise. I have a blog. I should write it down. Okay, so why the name? Because every name out there is taken. Except there were two names that were not taken. I am Boey. Oh no, Boey is taken. Boey.com is really gone. I am Boey, it wasn't taken. The other one was fish for breakfast. But it would be kind of, because I knew that the news was starting to cover me, and it's kind of hard to say like, oh, what's your website? Oh, it's fish for breakfast, FISH, it'll be a terrible name. But it's catchy. So I wrote my blog I started about 6 years ago. It was inspired by this guy. His name is Scott Dickers. I'll write it down too. Okay. And don't buy his book. Buy mine. So I'm not here to promote his book. Okay. So Scott Dickers wrote a book called I Went to College and It Was Okay. And I read the book in Thailand. Back then, I had a girlfriend there, and she's not a hooker. In the States, we were studying, in school, we had books. So I was born at a place. It's not a brothel. And I say like, I'll just read something. So I went to her shelves and I saw this book. I went to college and it was okay. And it was pretty much kind of like my book, okay? But it was 8 panels of drawings per page, and each story was only 4 panels. So there's 2 stories per page. And in the book, it was literally like this. Today I went to school. I had a peanut butter sandwich. Then I came home and I looked for the cat, but I couldn't find it. That was literally the story. And then the next day would be, I went to visit my mom. She baked me some cookies. They were delicious. I fell asleep on the couch. I read that book twice that day. Like I was like, this is the most brilliant book ever. But it was also because I am not a reader. I really am not a reader. I mean, like, you look at the things and you're like, this is full of grammatical errors, maybe. But I thought that book was brilliant, and it was a book about so much nothing. And I think that seriously, in my own words, I was like, this is fucking awesome. And then I read it, and I read it again, and it doesn't matter how you read it. You can read it backwards, and it will still make sense. But when I read it I read the book and then I say, this is insane, you know. This guy is making a killing from writing this book. My life is so much more interesting. I mean, that's how full of shit I was. My life is so much more interesting. I should write a book. So day 1, I have 1 page. You know. Day 2, I had another page. By day 50, I had 50 pages. And then I went to a bookstore again. It was my girlfriend's book at the time. So I said, I want to buy that book to see what other secret formulas he's got. So I went online to look for that book. I went to college and it was okay. That's the title of the book. And then I saw that he had another book out. It was, I started work and it was pretty good. That's the title of the book. And I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. So I went to get the book. And it was about this thing. And it was like, today I went to work. You know, we had a meeting. It was about nothing. I fell asleep. I was like, this is just as brilliant as the first book. But I'm eating all of this up, you know, like that guy could charge me $20 and it would be like crack for me. I'll be like, I need this. So I got it, and then I kept on writing my blog. I just day to day I kept compiling and compiling. And then by the end of the first year, I had a book that was, I mean, if you guys, I don't know how many of you guys go to my blog. Can I have a raise of hands? Okay, so that is pretty good. So after the end of the first year, I looked at my blog and I said, I have quite a bit, you know. His year is much shorter than me, it's about like this thing. And my year was like this thing. So I said, okay, maybe he's got other books.